I'm Roy Dyson, and this is my famous person speech. Now, when you think of a German composer, who do you normally think of? Maybe it's Johann Sebastian Bach, maybe it's Beethoven. I would like to actually talk about Heinrich Schultz, though. He was a German composer and organist, generally regarded as the most important German composer before Johann Sebastian Bach, and often considered to be the most important composer of the 17th century, along with Claudio Monteverdi. He wrote what is thought to be the first German opera, Daphne, performed at Torgau in 1627. However, the music for that has since been lost. He is commemorated as a musician in the calendar of the saints of the Lutheran Church on July 28th with Johann Sebastian Bach and George Friedrich Handel. He was buried in the Dresden cemetery, but his tomb has since been destroyed as well. Now, through his life, he's had some very interesting things happen. When he was born in 1590 in Kostritz. He was the eldest son of Christopher Schultz and Jungfrau. In 1590, his family moved to Weinfels, where his father managed the inn Zumrin. Weinfels was actually one of the largest districts in that area there for a very long time, until the war, of course. When staying at the inn, Schultz's music talents were discovered by Moritz von Hassen-Kessel in 1599. After being a choir boy, he went on to study law at Marburg before going to Venice from 1609 to 1612 to study music with Giovanni Gabrieli. He subsequently had a short stint as an organist at Kassel before moving to Dresden in 1615 to work as a court composer to the Elector of Saxony. In 1619, Schultz married Magdalena Wildeck, who had been born in 1601. She produced two daughters before her death in 1625, Anna Justina, born in 1621, and Jungfrau, born in 1623. Now, in Dresden, he sowed the seeds of what is now the Sachs Dresden, but left there on several occasions. In 1628, he went to Venice again, most likely meeting Claudio Monteverdi there. He may have studied with him, and in 1633, after the 30 Years' War had disrupted the life at the court, he took a post at Copenhagen. He returned to Dresden in 1641, and in 1655, the year that his daughter Jungfrau died, he accepted an ex-office post at Kapellmeister at Wolfenbüttel. He died at Dresden from a stroke in 1672 at the age of 87. Now, Schultz's composition shows the influence of his teacher Gabriello and Monteverdi. Additionally, the influence of the Netherlandish composer of the 16th century is also prominent in his work. His best-known works are in the field of sacred music, ranging from solo voice with instrumental accompaniment to a cappella choral music. Representative works include his three books, the Psalms of David, the Seven Last Words on the Cross, and his three Passion settings. Schultz's music, while starting off in the most progressive styles early in his career, eventually grows into a style that is simple, culminating with his late Passion settings. Practical considerations were certainly responsible for part of the change. The 30 Years' War had devastated the musical infrastructure of Germany, and it was no longer practical or even possible to put on a gigantic works in the Venetian style which marked his earlier period. Schultz was one of the last composers to write in modal style. His harmonies often result from contrapuntal alignment of voices rather than from any sense of harmonic cadences. His music includes a great deal of imitation, but structured in such a way that the successive voices do not necessarily enter after the same number of beats or at predictive interval distances. Sadly, in the end, almost no secular music by Schultz has survived, save for a few domestic songs, and no purely instrumental music at all, even though he had the reputation as one of the finest organists in Germany. Schultz was one of the great importance in bringing new musical ideas to Germany from Italy, and such had large influence on the German music which to follow. The style of the German organ schools derives largely from Schultz. A century later, the music was culminate in the works of Johann Sebastian Bach. I like that so much. That was a 6-minute speech.
6-minute speech?
No, it was